Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards. It's been a while since we've taken a look at the stories behind the cardboard, and you can see I'm holding one Bud Daly, pitcher for the Kansas City Athletics. That didn't work out the way I wanted to. And a 1961 card here, and you can see it's been a well-loved card, and actually has decent centering for a 1961 Topps. And Bud Daly. And card number 422. Born October 7th of 1933. So Bud is... I was born on October 6th, but not 1933. Bud is 29 years older than I am. If you can do the math, then you'll figure out when I was born. So anyways, got Bud Daly, 1961 Topps. He was known as a spitball. That's right, spitball and a knuckleball pitcher. And he had a curveball that he threw at 2 different speeds. So he was definitely an off-speed pitcher. He made his major league debut with the Cleveland Indians September of 1955. And his last appearance was with the New York Yankees in August of 1964. Now, Bud, he had signed with the Cleveland Indians because he was friends with Bob Lemon. It was actually a babysitter for Bob Lemon and his wife. And that is how he truly became drafted by the Cleveland Indians. He was Bob Lemon's babysitter. And he was with Cleveland from 55 to 57. And then he was with the Kansas City A's from 58 to 61. And he was a 2-time All-Star, 1959 and 60, with the Kansas City A's. And then he finished up his career with the New York Yankees from 61 to 64. And he was a 4-time pennant winner and a 2-time World Series champion, 1961 and 62. In 1961, he was really an impact pitcher for the New York Yankees. And he actually won the last game of the 1961 World Series against the Reds. And for his career, he went 59 and 60 and had a decent career. But he suffered an arm injury in 1963. And just like so many players from that era, just poor treatment. And then in 1964, he saw sporadic time with AAA teams and the major leagues, making his last appearance. And then 1965, he did come back to Cleveland, but he was cut in spring training. Now, what makes Bud pretty interesting is that he was born with his right arm 1 inch shorter than his left arm. And he suffered that nerve damage during birth. The doctor evidently used some forceps and pinched a nerve in his shoulder as he was being born. And he could barely lift his right arm, just barely even enough to even comb his hair. That nerve damage stayed with him for quite a while. But it's interesting. Bud was actually a good hitter. He was for the Yankees and for the A's, and I believe for Cleveland also. He was kind of their utility infielder if all things failed. He was actually would be their utility infielder, and he was a good golfer. And even in his senior years, he won the Wyoming State Senior Tournament many times. He was a very good golfer. And with the New York Yankees from 61 to 64, he said that he always liked to have Elston Howard be his catcher because Yogi would, when Yogi Berra was catching, Bud would shake him off, but Yogi would never accept his shake off. Elston would. Elston could put down for a curveball, and Bud would shake him off, and they'd agree on a knuckleball. Yogi was not like that, and he actually said that him and Yogi had quite a few arguments about who was calling the game, and but he did really like with Elston Howard catching. And one last story, he always had to backhand the ball when it was thrown to him because he couldn't turn his right arm forward because of that nerve injury. Even as when the catcher would throw the ball back to him, he always had to backhand it. And as a utility infielder, you'd have to backhand the ball. And he was actually a good hitter, though, for a pitcher. And so it's kind of really good that Bud was able to overcome that birth injury with that pinched nerve in his shoulder. Again, 1933, obviously, medical technology was not what it is now. But that's the story. That's the story behind the cardboard of one Bud Daly. And I failed to look up his rookie card and his last card that was issued. I'll try to put it in the comments if I can. I always like to include that. But that's the story of Bud Daly, the story behind the cardboard. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I was a little bit rusty doing this, but got a lot going on with this new pastoral job, and just wanted to get a couple of videos out just to kind of stay active. And hope you guys don't forget about me, because I'm surely not around YouTube nearly as much as I used to be. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the hobby. We'll see you.